Morning. We are kicking off a new series this morning and calling it From Dream to Destiny. From your dream to your destiny, because I've realized a lot of Christians might have a dream, but they just live in a dream world. And they never step into their destiny that God has for them. That destiny is your purpose. And God will give you a dream that will begin to launch you into your destiny, but the dream's not your destiny. Your destiny is your purpose. And we have so many Christians that just live in this dream world of someday I'm going to do this and someday I'm going to do that and I'll eventually get around to, and they never step into that destiny that God has for them. And I'm ready to see you begin to step into destiny. I'm ready to see you begin to walk in your destiny that God has for you in your life. We're going to be looking at Joseph in the Bible. So I think nothing just shows this as well as Joseph, that God gave him a dream, and it was a big dream at the age of 17. But Joseph didn't begin to step in that destiny that God had for him until he was 30. Now, he didn't fulfill that destiny at 30. He just began to step into his destiny at 30. God gave him the dream at 17, but he doesn't step into it until he's 30. 13 long years before he begins to step into it. And I begin to ask, why did it take so long? Because I think that's something that we ask at times. God speaks something down into us and thinking, God, man, you gave me that before. Why haven't I begin to step into this? And I believe this, that through Scripture, there are tests that God puts you through in order to strengthen your character for you to fulfill your destiny. Because the thing that keeps you from living just in your dream and stepping into your destiny is your character. Your character is what holds you back from fulfilling the destiny that God has for you. So you go through tests in your life, and it's character tests in your life that God's cleaning up this, because He gives you the dream, but then He begins to prepare you for the destiny that He has for you. So we're going to look at the test in your life that you have to pass in order for you to walk in your destiny that He has for you. All right, how many was excited to take tests in school? You people are crazy if you raised your hand on that. And I'll tell you, it's not exciting to take tests from God either. But God gives you tests. And when you pass them, you can walk in your destiny. And this morning we're going to look at the very first test that Joseph had to go through. And I believe, and it's the test that all of us have to go through, and we have to pass it sometimes several times in our lives, and it's the pride test. The pride test. And if you think, oh, I'm good there, Pastor. you better listen up, because this is probably just for you. If you think, I've got my pride under control, that's pride stepping up in you right now, saying you've got your pride under control and I don't need to listen. So you better listen a little bit better. In fact, before you're seated this morning, will you turn to your neighbor and you just tell them, I have a feeling this is going to hit home to me this morning. Just tell them that. I have a feeling this is going to hit me. You can be seated. How many in your life have struggled with pride? Really, 4. Yeah. I think there's more. You can go ahead and admit that. 4 people. Yeah. How many you've struggled with pride in your life? Some of you struggle with pride and you don't even know it. This is going to be good for you right here. Some of you, this will be like eye-opening. You'll leave this place going, oh my goodness, I was full of pride, didn't even know it. Man, I've been struggling with some things. No wonder I can't step into anything in my life. No wonder I see everybody else stepping out and I'm still just talking about a dream. Can't even get past the first test. I don't even realize I'm dealing with it. But pride, it's big. It's huge in your life, and it will stop you from your destiny every single time. Let me show you in Scripture. I just want to read the story of Joseph to you. And we're going to cover the story of Joseph for a couple of weeks here, watching him go from his dream to his destiny. But I want to show you where God gives him his dream. And watch the pride begin to come out in him. In Genesis chapter 37, and in verse 1, it says, now Jacob, if you're not knowledgeable in the Bible, Jacob is Joseph's dad. So now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. And this is the history of Jacob. Now we get into Joseph. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought a bad report of them to his father. Isn't that a normal 17-year-old? Just tattling. Right, do you see that? His brothers are out working. Now Joseph's younger. I know he thinks he's all grown. Bible refers to him as a lad. 17, and he's tattling on his brothers, giving a bad report to his father. And it goes on and says, now Israel is Jacob, okay? So don't get confused there. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Now, Joseph had a dream. Man, I want you to just see what's happening. Joseph is the younger brother, 17. Remember when you were 17 and you thought you knew it all? Do you remember that? You thought you knew it all. You thought you were a man. You thought you could take down your dad if you needed to. You definitely thought you could take down your older brothers. And Joseph, 17, with this cocky attitude, because he knows he's his father's favorite, and worst off, his own brothers know he's his father's favorite. He feels his role in the family is to point out all the failures and shortcomings of his siblings. Do you remember that part in your life? That right there. His brothers didn't like him. In fact, it says his brothers hated him. Not only did they hate him, but they could not even speak peaceably to Joseph. And now Joseph, watch this, Joseph had a dream. Oh, before Martin Luther King Jr. is Joseph, he had a dream. And he told it to his brothers. You remember that? 17. This is what 17-year-olds do. They don't like me. I've got a dream about them. I think I'll tell it to them. 17. Told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, please hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And indeed, your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. 17. And his brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers and said, look, I've dreamed another dream, because he didn't learn the first time. And this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come and bow down to the earth before you? And his brothers envied him, but his father kept this matter in mind.